This is IGN. It may be familiar, but a generous roster and exciting modes make it undeniably fun. This is your IGN review of Marvel Rivals by Simon Carty. I'm not new to the hero shooter genre, having pumped well over 1,000 hours into Overwatch since its 2016 release, and it's not hard to feel like 2016 is exactly where Marvel Rivals was meant to be a thing. That said, what we're getting in 2024 is a very fun hero shooter that I've had a great time with, thanks to a chunky roster of varied heroes, as well as some solid maps and modes. What remains to be seen, however, is whether Rivals will find a fervent fan base like both Blizzard and Marvel did all those years ago, a task most hero shooters have struggled with recently. But with a high level of care in each of its comic book characters, exciting combat for all skill levels, and a relatively generous free-to-play model, Rivals is doing all it can to buck that trend. Thankfully, the majority of the roster plays well. I've been having a great time with Punisher's chattering turret that rips through enemies, Winter Soldier's hard-hitting hand cannon and close-quarters cybernetic arm which prove a deadly duo, and Hawkeye's signature bow and arrow toolkit, complete with a highly satisfying headshot pinging sound effect. I've also been enjoying dashing around as Star-Lord, who is essentially a fusion of Overwatch's Tracer and Soldier 76. He's an exciting glass cannon thanks to a stripped-down moveset of dual SMGs and a speed boost coupled with a small health bar. Developer NetEase has a few other nifty tricks up its sleeve to make Rivals play just a little differently to hero shooters that have come before. Chief among those are team-up abilities. For example, when Star-Lord is paired with Adam Warlock, he's granted a self-revive on a long cooldown. These passive and active combos are a clever twist, and so far feel nicely balanced between being momentum shifters when used correctly without becoming complete game changers that make you feel like a slave to them when choosing heroes or villains at the start of a match. It encourages smart team construction without leaving characters behind or feeling guilt-tripped by others for not matching their incessant requests to team up. Add these synergistic systems to the much-appreciated lack of stun lock abilities, and Marvel Rivals really sings when the wheels are in motion. This is a hero shooter that wants you to liberally use the powers it grants, with barriers both in a literal and metaphorical sense coming at a premium. I was skeptical of the third-person gunplay at first, as traditionally, I much prefer to be firing from a first-person perspective, but Rivals does a good job of keeping each weapon feeling distinct from one another and satisfying to wield. It may appear approachable, but the skill ceiling definitely seems high here, with a surprisingly steep learning curve for newcomers, as you pick between characters with over half a dozen abilities to juggle. Another step towards innovation can be seen in the destructible environments of the maps you'll be battling on, whether that's the sci-fi walls of Tokyo 99 caving in to unveil new sniping spots, or the stone bridges of Ixgard crumbling down to remove an enemy's position of strength. It's a smart approach to map design, one that allows for choke points to be circumnavigated in interesting ways, keeping each round feeling dynamic compared to the last. With just 8 maps at launch, the sense of dynamism level destruction adds is especially crucial to Rivals' appeal at the moment. Further contributing to this are random map events. Examples include Wakandan goddess Mujaji the Life-Giver throwing walls of white mist up in certain lanes and doorways, in turn masking your vision and making you rethink your approach on the fly. This live augmentation of arenas is also a smart way to keep the limited pool of maps feeling fresh over extended play sessions. Each level is also visually distinct enough to deliver a genuine sense of variety, and it's all unequivocally stylish to boot. Comic book flourishes such as the flame burst animation of Star-Lord's blaster barrage ability or Banner's transformation into Hulk really stand out. As far as the game's microtransactions, I'll hold off on the cynicism slightly when it comes to this. Sure, the skins are expensive, coming in at around $15 a pop using a premium currency, but nothing out of the ordinary when compared to competitors like Overwatch and Call of Duty. And at least it's all cosmetics, with every hero unlocked right from the start. This is a huge plus, and let's hope it stays that way, as Rivals relies on the fun of its action to keep us interested on a seasonal basis. Neither the MCU nor the hero shooter genre are at the glorious heights experienced by both in the past decade, but that isn't stopping Marvel Rivals from doing everything it can to be a success story today. Approachable yet with a high skill ceiling to reach for, it's consistently a great time, no matter which fan favorite comic book character and accompanying skill set is at your fingertips. It may be following closely in the slipstream of the hero shooters that have come before it, but by doing so, Rivals has firmly placed itself in a strong position to take the crown for itself. Marvel Rivals IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Marvel Rivals updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.